Hello, and welcome to Medieval Dynasty. Hello, little one. Well, it's another day, and it's foggy again. But on the plus side, it's summer, which means I can get the actual herbalist to start getting us some berries, for example. They should be ready this time of year. Any issues around first? So the hunting lodge needs... Ooh. Surprise, surprise, they're out of knives, so I'm going to have to fix that as well. Farming, well, there's nobody in that barn because that's a new barn, so we need to start thinking about putting people in here. So the plan is, all of these crops that we've got here all need harvesting. So first things first, I need to get Edmund out of the barn here, because he's currently working as a barn worker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign him to the actual excavation hut. Did I do that? No. Right, so let's assign him as a miner to the excavation hut, and then I'll put him back in the barn again. Except this time as a farmer. Right, so he's now working as a farmer along with Damriga. So they're going to be able to harvest all of these crops. But the plan is, I want to move the farming across the river, because over there we've been building a new resource storage, a new food storage, plus an actual barn over there. So the plan is I want to get these two to work on harvesting this place. That'll free up whatever, flax seeds we get out of this field to be able to use to plant over in the field over there, which incidentally I should mark out just so that they know what that field's for. So this is field number... Oh, that's interesting. They must have already started it. Interesting. I did not know that. I didn't realise somebody had already been over there, because I never noticed. But anyway, this needs to be flax and just flax. So that way we'll be able to... Let's exit out of that. We'll accept that. So that's going to be a flax field. So we're going from 100 flax to 256 flax. It's a lot more expensive, but we should then get a lot more flax seeds back to make more money, because last season, or rather this season I must admit, we just about got by to pay off the bills, so we could do with a lot more flax. So I need to finish that area off because there isn't actually any housing over there. And what I'm planning to do is move Edmund and ourselves over there, but I'll build the bigger houses. That way they'll get more morale. I mean, if we look at like Edmund's morale, I think it's down to 10, I think it was. Yeah, he's down to like 10%. Damrigus is down at 25%. So I really want to get... Well, I don't think it actually does anything in terms of boosting productivity. But I do want to boost folks' morale. I mean, why not? So that'll be easier. Saves me having to do two houses over here, for example, like that one over there, and ours as well, because these were never upgraded. And so yeah, quite a bit to get started with, but then we're going to move back across the river and start building our new houses. We've got one house built so far, and the plan is to bring Damrica across for that. I mean, I was going to start with Edmund, but I thought, well, actually it doesn't really matter, I'll just bring her across now. So if we have a look, just have a look on what the fields are doing. So, still fertilising that field over there. Now that would have been with a flax field, or at least what that is the old flax field. I'm going to phase this out though. They've done that one, they've harvested everything it seems. That they need to put the fertiliser in here, but I think what I'm going to do is bring Damrica over here, and I'll get her to then, well, in theory, she might start working on this field. I don't quite know. I mean, this is the closest barn, so in theory she should shift to do that. It's just I find it odd that if we go to the field, somebody has at some point been working on it. I just don't know when, to be honest. I never noticed, because until I built the barn, it was complaining about the distance, how effective the barn would be. So yeah, I'm a bit puzzled. Nobody's assigned to that barn, but anyway. Right, so this particular house here, now it asks to assign a tenant, so it's not giving me an option from there. So if I go to housing, so there's only one house, so that's the one that's assigned to me. So if I go and select that one, then press C, which is assigned a player. So we've all moved across to this house. So I've moved across, Damrick has moved across, Ulrich's moved across. So the whole family's now moved across to this house. So seeing as I've moved her across, I'm going to move her to the other barn as well. It's a barn here. We'll get her assigned to this one. Oh, you can see our morale's already going up. So we're going to get her working in the farm here. Now there's nothing really to do. I mean, I think I'll increase that to... Doesn't really matter, to be honest. We don't have anything over here anyway, and there's nobody actually working here, I should say. Doesn't matter where the barn is. They're all linked. At least that's what I'm wondering. There's something strange going on. I need to work out why, as I'll show you in a minute. So I'll just put something on there for now. Go over to this barn over here. What's the tasks on there? So they're split in a weird way just to balance it out, but now maybe it was just the time of the day. It's because it's 8:35 in the morning. That's why nobody had gone to work. I was scratching my head because I'd made some animal feed and I'd put it into that storage over there. Yet it was still complaining that the animals hadn't been fed and it was still in the actual storage. And I'm thinking, oh, is it broke? Is it not linked? I mean, I've been able to pick things up from here and deposit things over here. So I was actually going to go back over there and check, but no. Doesn't seem to matter. I think it was just because of the fact that it was too early. People were up, they just weren't working yet. Right. Where on the map is Damrick? She's over there. Little old Rick, he is over there. So he hasn't officially moved yet, but this is our new home. It's big. Almost on it. So that takes care of that field. But I need another house. I mean, most of the stone that I've used, I actually got from around here. There's a lot of loose stone lying around. But I've also noticed, actually, there's a lot of stone lying on the ground here that you can mine. So I might start using that, because the plan is to actually build another one. And I'll bring Edmund out. Well, I was thinking of bringing Edmund across. I'm still scratching my head, to be honest, because I'm wondering maybe I could just leave... somebody over there to look after those fields for now and get somebody else in, but really I want to make this, dedicate this place to farming. I think that's the preferred way of doing it, in which case I need another field. So I just need to say I've been clearing some of this out. Just the trouble is we're running on a grid and it runs like north, south, east, west and so on, so I don't have much control over where I can take this. It's going to end up where it ends up, unfortunately. So you end up with these big gaps against the... It looks strange because of the gaps in the road. It doesn't line up with anything other than itself, basically. So did I cut that out far enough? Yeah, that's enough. So that's another 16 by 16 field. So this one, for example, well, the plan is one of them will be dedicated to the actual flax. Another one I'm going to dedicate to growing, well, just a mix of different types of produce. Because we need oats, we need rye, we need cabbage, for example, we need onions. I might be able to grow other things in there as well, because it's a much bigger field. So I've got 2 fields. Now, whether 2 people can cope with it or not, I'm not quite sure. So what I could do, for example, I might bring somebody else into the village who's the same age as Edmund. Now, the only problem with that strategy is at some point if those 2 decide to hook up and have kids, it means she'll be out of commission effectively. She'll be off the system for about 2 years while she has the first child, because the NPCs can have 2 children, whereas your other half only gets 1. So you'll have a quite a gap. But once she says she's had those 2 children, then you've then got 2 people, and it saves you having to have so many houses. So yeah, I think I'm going to build this one for Edmund anyway. But I need a lot of logs, so I'm going to have to go and chop a lot of logs down. I'm going to have to be a bit careful because there are hogs over there, or wild boars, and there are bandits up here, I must admit. I'm going to have a bit of a peek while it's still early in daytime. See where I can see them. Ah, there they are over there. Yeah, that's them over there. So they're quite a distance away. Now, 2 of them wasn't so bad. 4 of them I'm not so sure. I just find it odd that there's 2 camps. There's that one there, then there's their camp. That seems a bit strange to me. Anyway, I'm going to stay well clear of them. I'm going to have a look, because I've been just going around chopping all the maple trees down. But this area around here is also where you'll find the wild boars. So I'm going to have to find places where I can chop these trees down, because I went through I had to get 40 tile roofs for that. And it's a lot of stone. A lot of log you need to build one of these houses. So I've got 2 days left. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get that done. Now I wonder if that's Damrica coming across. Yeah, so she's coming across now. And Ulrich's coming across. So they're going to settle over here. But yeah, I want to get that house built over here for Edmund. Well, it's now the 3rd and final day of summer. As you can see, Damrica's busy in the fields. I mean, she's doing quite well, I must admit. If I go over to field view, you can see she's working her way through that field at the moment. Just gone so far with putting fertilizer in. The rest she's now, at least today, she's just decided to start doing grubbing for the rest. Now, what I've done, I mean, that field is dedicated specifically for flax, but I've got a second field now, and I've split that up into different crops. We'll see how it goes over time, because the plan is I do need quite a bit of cabbage, for example. I thought I'd test out some other types of things to plant and see, because up to now I haven't grown any beet, for example. I haven't bothered with that, but it might be useful. I'm also planning to actually grow carrots this time round. Now, the other fields are done, because I thought, well, these ones already had fertilizer in them. So rather than waste that and wait for spring when they'd start probably planting flax, because it's summer, I'll get them to put the cabbage in. So that's already been done. They'd already cleared one of the other fields, and again that part there was already ready with fertilizer. So I thought, oh well, I'll just get them to put more cabbage in. So that's done as well. But I think the plan is now I think I'm going to abandon those fields. I'm going to let them basically grow. When they're ready to harvest them, I'll just finish those off. I'll harvest them myself, because if it's automated, the problem is I might find that the actual farmer decides to start putting fertilizer in as well. So I'm trying to avoid that basically. But we've now got Edmund's house ready over here. So I was working through the night. I'm surprised nobody was complaining, to be honest. Well, this place is now ready, so I'm going to move him over to here. So if we go over to management, if we go to, there's Edmund there. So he's on 10%. Damrica's all the way right up to 50%. She's extra cheerful because she's in a much bigger house, but also because she's got a child. So when we move Edmund across over here, his morale will go up, but it won't get anywhere close to what she's on. So we'll get him to move to this house here. So he's now been assigned to that house. So he's going to end up moving. I'm curious because it's, I would have thought that would have started going up already. Let's see, so he lives in a house. Okay, fair enough. Now, I'm also going to move him as well. So instead of putting him in that barn there, I'm actually going to move him to another barn. So just my own sanity, I'm going to come to this one here, just to make sure he does actually move across to this one. So he's now moved, so he should start moving at some point today and start coming across to here. So if we go over to where he's at the minute, he's about here, and you can, there you go. So you can, now you can start to see his morale going up. So these two are going to be working these two fields. To be honest, I don't know if that's enough, because these are big fields. I mean, she was working through this, say, like yesterday, and I've got two of them. So I'm kind of inclined to sort of like start hiring more people, basically. I mean, I can get somebody to live with Edmund, for example. That would make my life a bit easier. But I can see me building more houses and hiring more NPCs. The only drawback is I hit a building limit. We've actually maxed out. I had, in order to build Edmund's house here, I had to destroy our house. So the house we were living in before is now gone. I do want to leave those houses intact for now, at least. Although Edmund's is vacant, basically. In which case, that basically pushes me into having to do this chapter quest, which is a big game. It means going out and doing the hunting, so we're going to have to hunt a moose, a wisent, as well as a bear. That's going to then push our building limit up to 45. Now, the only thing is, just go back into here. Alwyn's story, the next part of Alwyn's story is to have another, basically a competition, an archery competition. I need to beat him again at archery. Now, if I do that, he then asks you to go and basically kill a bear, which kind of coincides with that chapter 8, so I'm kind of inclined to keep the two in sync, to be honest. I'll do the two at the same time. So yeah, I think it's time to get back to the quest again. But that's all for another episode.